The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 4. Now, I love this series. I think it's insanely fun and creative and just so unique, and it's everything I love about Tynan's writing because he knows how to distill characters to pretty much just like a label, but still make them unique. Because all these characters have labels, of course, but this one was great. This issue, I think, the best one so far, and probably my favorite character. Now, I love just like distilling myself into the characters we've already seen. You know, I really like Ryan, and I really like Sam, and I really like those characters. But I think David here, who is the comedian, is just like perfect. This is another one that I think a lot of writers would want to write, you know, because when you're a writer and you're writing about a writer like you have with Nora in this book, that is you as the character. But I think if you are just like, you know, a little bit funny, like having a good time, you're going to want to put David in here and you're going to distill a lot of your feelings into David. So David, he's talking to us directly in the future, whatever happens when the whole thing breaks down. It looks like he's on some dock somewhere, and he's like, the first week we had no food, but then we got food because we realized when you write things on a notepad, they will come to you the next day. So that's kind of like the key to what's happening in this issue. We also get a scene where it's sometime when David met Walter, and he's just like, there's this girl I like, and the timing's just wrong for us. The math is always off, and it's not going to work this time around. I don't know what to do. And basically, this is us seeing that Walter was the first person to see David's serious side, where it's like, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. He plays the dullard and he plays the comedian, but he's smart. He's deceptive. He picks up on little things. So then we see the list of the stuff they're making throughout the days, you know, like some food, all this kind of stuff. It's very interesting. So we're just seeing like, we want some weed, we want some, you know, just random food articles. But then he's like, this is getting weird. So it's like day 27 and we see David's room and it's like a mess of all this stuff. There's like props and costumes and literally a monkey in an astronaut suit who's got old comic books and Oscars and all this stuff. Basically, whatever he asks for, it's coming to him. And he's walking around in the outfit that Ferris Bueller wore on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's just talking to everybody like, you know what? This is so annoying, but I'm bored. Like, I don't know what to do. I might jump off the balcony and see if I hurt myself. And I'm going to do it naked. Just like whatever I can do, I'm going to do it to entertain myself. Because we're just doing nothing here. And I'm just getting bored. He's talking to people like, you know, dude, why don't you come jump off with me? Let's have fun. Nobody really wants to talk to him or deal with him. He kind of becomes like the delivery guy where he's giving everybody their packages. And we see that Molly, who is somebody we saw earlier, but she hasn't really been a central focal point. She's like, did any of my packages come in yet? And it's like, no, they didn't. So what's going on there? What is it that Molly is looking for? And then we see that David goes, you know, I want a cowboy hat. So he's like, okay, I'm going to get a cowboy hat. He comes to pick up the packages the next day to deliver to everyone. Ryan is sleeping outside trying to wait for the driver to show up. But of course, it's too late and the driver's not there. Whoever this person is that's dropping it off, we know it's Walter. But he's like, you're not going to see him. You know, waiting out here for him, you're not going to see him, so you should just not even try anymore. However it gets here, who knows? He puts on his cowboy hat and he gets back to delivering stuff for everybody. We see that Naya is planning a big dinner in a couple days and she's getting all the ingredients ready now. And again, Molly comes in looking for her package, but it's not there. And David is slowly starting to figure out what she's doing. Like, there's something specific she's asking for that isn't showing up. And so the next day, David again is delivering the packages. He comes to see that Molly's still looking for her own, but she's just lying down in bed, and basically this person's taking care of her is like, she can't be alone right now, and she's broken, and I just want to make sure she's okay. But of course, she's never going to be okay. The next day, David's playing up the gimmick of being the comedian. He literally gets like, you know, a delivery guy's outfit. He's walking around giving the brings to everybody, and this is where he sees Sam, and he stumbles across the notebook that Sam was writing in. It's like, there's another building here. Again, everyone is thinking David isn't picking up on stuff because he's playing the silly guy, but he's doing very good just figuring out all the information. Again, he goes to talk to Molly. Her thing's not there, and she just breaks down, and she starts crying, and, you know, David's like, well, maybe you're writing it down wrong. You know, you have to be, like, very specific for what it is, and you can figure out all this other stuff. She's like, it's not going to happen, but you know what? Here, I already wrote it down. Maybe you can get me what I want. And this is some really cool stuff. So we get a couple pages where we're just seeing what David wrote down. He's like, I want the most expensive bottles of liquor. I want the nicest watches you can find. I want all the Oscars from Lord of the Rings. You know, I want all this stuff. Just, you know, like a VR headset and just like an electric razor, every Sports Illustrated, just a bunch of insane stuff, you know. Every piece of clothing Leonardo DiCaprio packed for his last vacation. I just want all this random stuff. And it all comes to him. And then you see some of the stuff other people are looking for. They're looking for, you know, like peppers and this kind of stuff, like a telescope, drinks, and yoga mats and everything. And then we get to Molly's list. And we see that she wants her husband to come back. And then she's like, I want my parents to come back. And I want my husband back. And I want handguns and a bullet. And I want rope. And then you just see for the last week, she's been asking for a straight razor. And you just see that David reads it and he's like, huh. Okay. So he writes it down himself. And then we see it's the next day. We're waiting to get our packages. David's going to go out to collect them. And as they're all on the step, he looks down and he does see Walter there who delivered the packages. And he goes, dude, you could have just told us what's going on. And again, David picking up on the little things. I really like David here. So he gets all the packages and he comes to talk to Molly. He's like, can you just leave us alone for a second? I want to talk to Molly. And he opens up the package that's labeled for him. And inside is the straight razor. And basically he goes into this great speech like, I know you want this to be Walter's fault for what you're doing to yourself, but honestly what you're feeling is very real, very believable, and we're all in that state. And I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm just going to say there's a lot going on here, and if you did this, you're going to affect the people around you and yourself in ways you might not know. But also, I think there's something else going on here that I want to show you, so can you come with me? So they leave the room for a minute. Molly's starting to feel a little bit better about herself, and it's the night of Naya's big supper. Everyone's gathered around, kind of getting comfortable in the situation a little bit more. Not completely, just a little bit more. And then you see David and Molly walk over. David's arms are covered in blood, and there's slashes along it. Everyone starts freaking out, and this is where David just goes, all right, there is so much shit going on here. I don't know how to get into it, but we got to do it this way. Like, this shit sucks. Things are bad. You know, Sam found a weird building on the other side of the lake. He didn't tell anybody about it. Nora and Sarah know something that the rest of us don't know. They're being very secretive about it. I'm not sure what's going on there. We got to figure it out, okay? Let's not keep any more secrets. We're the last people alive, potentially. And the thing is, whatever it is we're here for, it's really weird. And, you know, I know some of you, I don't. Let's kumbaya on all that shit. And he takes a straight razor, cuts his throat, and we get the incredible reveal that they can't die. And that's really fun. What a great way to end this book, just on a massive cliffhanger. It was like this really dark story and idea, and again, it's just classic Tynan, just dealing with these really weird and gothic themes that are so intense and realistic and creepy. I adore this book, and the artwork looks so good. Like, I'm just adoring this artwork. I love everything about the story. And I think this issue is my favorite just because, I mean, it feels kind of pompous to say that David's the character I've connected to the most just because I think he's kind of like an asshole for a bit, but he's also very just like perceptive on the situation. He's like, I think I understand what's going on here. And the fact that I asked for everything that's really out there, I got it. There's something more mystical in this situation. So I'm going to let it be and figure out what's really going on. And when he has the connection with Molly, I think that's a really strong thing to see. And it just shows you that some dark stuff is afoot at whatever lake this is. And I think this was a really strong issue that highlights the power of a comedian in a sense. It's a weird thing to say, but you really get that feeling in this book. And it's just really, really cool to see what this guy could do. I thought that was insanely fun. So the Nice House on the Lake, issue number 4, I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.